What is going on, good people? I had to take that from DJ. I had to take that there. But no, that intro there, that just gets me hyped every time. No, but welcome back to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast.
Would you say you stay hyped, Justin?
I do stay hype. I do stay hype all the time. Every time the intro comes on. I mean, if you don't get hyped for the intro, I tell you, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. No, but welcome back to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an Instant Classic. And welcome to the Juggernaut Retro Reviews. This is going to be episode number 21 of Juggernaut Retro Reviews. And I'm doing it with a host this time. I'm doing it with DJ this time. We are reviewing Rebellion from 2019. And, I thought it'd be right to review this show since, Rebellion 2021 is coming up this Sunday, which is kind of hard to believe. Like, it feels like this build has, there hasn't been really much build to much of this pay-per-view for the 2021 pay-per-view, except for, the Kenny Omega and Rich Swann match. But still, I wish they would have been building that match more. But we'll talk about that when we get to our predictions on. I think we're going to be doing it on Thursday, so we'll talk more about that. But we're going to talk about Rebellion 2019 first. But before we get started with this review, DJ, what's your thoughts on this show altogether?
In terms of my thoughts on this show, as it has been in the past, I think this year will be the third year that they're going to do Rebellion. This was the first Rebellion show that they did. And I think they've done really well with a lot of these newer pay-per-views that they went with. Hard to Kill is one that I'm always excited for. Rebellion, of course, is another one that's usually pretty good. I'm trying to think of the other one. There's one more that wasn't in the previous package of TNA pay-per-views that they still use. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but
Homecoming?
Yeah, Homecoming, that's what it is. I think they do a good job with these. And I think in terms of them trying to rebrand as Impact Wrestling, I think to have some new pay-per-views, I think it was nice to see some kind of, in a way, unique pay-per-view names, instead of just generic or match type pay-per-view names. And I think that's good. I think they've taken that note from WWE and using the generic match type pay-per-view name. So I think, when you have Rebellion coming up or Homecoming coming up or Hard to Kill or something like that, you never know what you're going to get, which I think is good because, we've seen pay-per-views in the past that have been more of your typical what you expect from a wrestling pay-per-view in like a Rebellion or Hard to Kill. But then Impact has took it a notch further and went with intergender world title matches for what was it? I think it was Hard to Kill last year, and Rebellion, I think they still had Tessa as the champion I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like there's just a lot of cool, I like overall, Rebellion as a pay-per-view. I like it overall on the show. This particular show, I thought it was amazing. I look back at this area of Impact with Impact in 2019 and say it's a really underrated area of Impact. It's a really underrated year for Impact is 2019. Sami Callihan became champion in 2019. And for some reason, I don't remember watching as much in 2019 as I usually would. But when I go back and watch these shows and I go back and see moments that I do remember, I'm like, yeah, this is why I really wanted to watch Impact. I don't know why I wasn't watching it, especially with Sami Callihan becoming world champion. That was one of my favorite moments because in the match that he had with Brian Cage in 2019 was awesome. So, Rebellion, I think, really showcases what Impact was in 2019. There's a lot of guys that aren't there anymore from Impact. Some things look a little bit different for Impact, but Impact was still a very solid show in 2019, and I think it deserves some credit.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think this was during 2019, when they were starting to bring pay-per-views back, I like that they weren't going with the generic ring aprons or the generic, kind of stage that they do. And I like this whole arena setup. It seemed like a very small arena. And they were doing this show from Canada, which, the Canada crowds are always hype and stuff for any wrestling you go. If it's WWE, if it's, anything, they're always into the show. But I just like how this show was set up, how they had Rebellion, the ring apron there, I like how they had the ring apron there, and like this, the whole setting of this was nice, and the way this show was like all structured was pretty dope. Oh, Adam here, yeah. Hey, Adam. Oh, you got an idea. Oh, what's that? What's that idea?
I didn't know that.
What's
I
that?
didn't reply to Adam on both platforms, so I could just do one. I should have just replied as you, so it made it look like it was you.
That's
But
funny.
I got this. Wait a minute. Boom. Okay. Now only Justin said it.
Oh my god. Oh, but what's up, Adam? But no. Let's go ahead and get started with this review, though.
Yeah. I know this show was just interesting to me, like with the Canadian crowd. I thought that they were very energetic and like really amped up, which I think is good. I think it definitely added to the show. I'm trying to pull up the card. I pulled up the wrong one.
I have the card right. I have the card.
I was like, Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. That hasn't happened
yet. Yeah, I got the card right here. So the first match was Petey Williams versus Jake Chris versus Aiden Prince versus Ace Austin, Cousin Jake, and Eddie Edwards in like a 6-way scramble match. What was your thoughts on this match here?
Adam, you would send a voice message while I'm on a podcast and can't listen to the voice message. Darn you, darn you, darn you. Anyway, my thoughts on this match, I thought it was amazing. One of the spots that I really loved in this match, and something that I haven't really seen. And hopefully, if Casey watches this, or of course, if Adam's still on, or any wrestling fan in general who's watched, I've never seen somebody from the apron catch a suicide dive into a cutter. Never seen it in my life. I was telling Justin, I was like, I've never seen this before. Has it ever happened before this moment? Because Jay Chris caught Ace Austin in midair from the apron with his cutter, and all of them just went into everybody else because it was a suicide dive, of course. But like, I had never seen anything like that, and I was like, well, okay. Yeah, this match was great. It was cool to see Petey Williams back, of course. I always like him, and I think it was interesting that they brought him out as the first guy because, of course, his entrance music is the Canadian national anthem. So it all, of course, with Canadian fans, it always gets over. So I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, this was great. I'm not surprised, especially looking back at it. Ace Austin won this because I know they were setting up to push Ace Austin to the moon at this point, and of course, he's been one of Impact's best since this point. So it's really interesting to see how much he's kind of changed, but at the same time, how much he's still the same. And you could see it even back then how good that he was going to be for Impact. But what was your thoughts?
I thought this match was really good. I mean, it's your typical, kind of like X Division match for Impact. I definitely love that spot when I can't remember who was going for that suicide dive. I think it was maybe like Aiden Prince or something that was going for that. And then Jake Chris hitting that cutter. That was nice. I mean, we saw so many cutters in this match. It was crazy. Of course, Petey Williams, he had to hit a Canadian Destroyer. It was nice that Ace Austin won this match. I really wasn't expecting him to win this match. I was expecting like Eddie Edwards because at the time when I was watching, I remember they were like pushing Eddie Edwards like to do something big because like he was feuding with Ace Austin here at the time a little bit because I remember he was Ace Austin was trying to get with Alicia at that point, I think. Or I could be wrong, but I thought that Eddie Edwards is gonna get the win here because like he was doing that whole hardcore gimmick, with what do you call his candlestick?
Kenny,
yeah, Kenny the Candlestick. That's right. But no, it was a fun opener. I really enjoyed this match here.
Yeah, I did too. Adam has a message for us, by the way. Hold up.
You better put this on the show. I did not say those words. I will not sit here and let you disparage the good goddamn name that is me.
Had to mute it because we're trying to be TV friendly here, so I had to go hit my bleep button on Adam because this man. Anyway, But that was a message from Adam, one of our esteemed people that comes on the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast and talks that you can hear / listen to / watch. Well, you can't watch it if you're listening to it. But anyway, you can listen to us on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other things and stuff.
Down below. Go to all those places. Snapple, Apple, all of them. Ankle.
Let's see. Next was Scarlett Bordeaux and Rohit Raju, which was hilarious watching him come out in the Desi Hit Squad thing because that was awful. But I think this was when Rohit finally started to become Rohit, like the guy that we know, like the Rohit that we know, was in this feud. Like I never would have thought a feud against Scarlett Bordeaux would elevate him so much into what we see now. But I mean, this was fun. I'm sure Jim Cornette is rolling around in his bed currently, even thinking about a match like this. But this was fun, and Rohit did some good stuff. And let's just be honest, guys. Let's just be honest. By the way that Rohit got pinned, Rohit is the winner of this match, although officially Scarlett is the winner. Justin.
I agree. This match was very interesting. At this point, I was not like a Rohit. I thought he was a joke at this point. Coming out with I called him the Daisy Hit Squad. And we got Adam here, saying a whole bunch of words that I cannot say here. I don't want to be kicked off the YouTube and the Facey bookie, the book of the face. Don't want to be kicked off any of that stuff. So we're not going to say any of that stuff that Adam just said. But no, this match was very interesting, and I was kind of interesting to see Scarlett Bordeaux and Falaba. Like I thought some of the stuff that they were doing in this match was kind of corny a little bit. Like especially when Rohit Raju, he's like bah, he's kind of mocking Falaba in the match. I mean, of course, we had the Daisy Hit Squad that they get involved in this match, and it looks like Scarlett Bordeaux was about to get a stink face from Rohit, but then he got low blowed. It looks like then he got low blowed. And that's how Scarlett won the match. I mean, the way that Scarlett pinned Rohit, Rohit's basically the winner, even though he got pinned, like DJ said. I mean, I wouldn't mind to take the pin from Scarlett Bordeaux like that. I think all of us would, just to get in the round. I mean, Scarlett, goddamn.
And then I'm going after Karen Cross next, so I can win the NXT title. That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
I know his weakness. Next, we have Moose and the North going up against the Rascals, which was an interesting match too. It was good. I think everybody shined in this match. Not only did Moose, the North, of course, showing how good they are, and then the Rascals, who somehow didn't win the tag team titles while at Impact. I know the North held it for like over a year, but come on. But this match, I think, showcased how good some of the tag teams are in Impact or were at this time with the Rascals and the North, and then adding in Moose, I think was good too, and he was kind of big money Moose at this point, which I think was. I like the gimmick. It's still kind of similar to what he's doing now, but he's more serious than anything. I definitely did the Moose the whole way down the ring the entire time. I actually didn't realize in the new theme song that he has that it included that. I thought that because when he debuted that theme song, I think he was a heel, so I think they were trying to get the fans to not do that.
Moose.
But yeah, I noticed it, and I was like, oh, okay. So it seems like I didn't realize it was still in the song, but I'm glad it is because I love this original song too. Because Moose was definitely over with me, but yeah, this was awesome. There were some cool spots in this match too, especially with the Rascals doing their craziness. There was some great stuff, and then I think having Josh Alexander and Ethan Page in there kind of added more to the technical aspect of things. I'm not sure, Adam. I think is Moose more cut now. I can't remember. He looked good in this particular show, but I think he is, if I'm not mistaken. I think he is more like a little bit more leaned out now. Speaking of, while we're on people being changing shapes a little bit, Jordan Grace is bigger, like more muscular. So, and you can tell in this show, if you watch Jordan Grace in this show, you're like, who's that little lady? Like, but then you see her now, you're like, oh my goodness, she can bench press me. What was your thoughts on the 6-man tag?
I thought this match was pretty good here. I like the stuff that the Rascals were doing at this point, with the whole treehouse and stuff, being all high every week on Impact. It's just mind-boggling to me that they never, for the time that they were in Impact, they never won the tag team titles, which it's nuts. Like, they had so much potential, and I guess WWE sees more of the potential in them. At least NXT does and stuff. But they're kind of still doing the same gimmick that they, were doing in Impact, but except
the treehouse was so funny though. Like,
it was.
I remember watching the hype package for this match and seeing Moose in the treehouse, and I was like, I remember this like it was yesterday.
Me too. Because I remember him coming in there like punching all of them, because like I don't remember exactly why he got involved, or like I think like he the Rascals interrupted like Moose during the segment, and like he got mad about that. But no, this match was pretty good. The Rascals doing their high flying stuff, normal high flying moves that they usually do. And also we had Moose. He just catches them with ease and stuff. Like, someone like, say if like Trey Miguel does something big over the top rope, Moose, he's just a big man and stuff, and he's pretty agile also. Like that big drop kick he does, like from the second rope, that's pretty nice. And I also like what the North were doing here. Like you said, it adds more of like a technicality into this match, which was pretty good. But no, this was a pretty good match here. And at this point, I thought Moose, he was kind of like, they didn't know really what they wanted to do with him, because I think this is when he started, I think during the summertime, that he started doing the whole, like, he wanted to beat these legends and all that. Like, I think he like started with Tommy Dreamer and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, this was good here. This was good.
Ty Valkyrie and Jordan Grace. Speaking of, I think this was the time Jordan Grace was running through everybody, right? If I'm not mistaken. And I think, was this her first loss? I think they said that in the video package, that she hadn't lost and she was going up against Taya, which Taya always, to me, in Impact, especially early on, she always felt like she was slow or sluggish or something. I always felt like she was always good, but she just always felt like she was out of place or something like that. Because I remember thinking back to this point in time and over the last year, and I've always felt like she's been kind of slow for some reason, because I know she was knockout champion for like ever. And I liked the run, but at the same time, it didn't like peak out to me or anything. But nonetheless, I mean, I enjoyed this match. It was good. Like you said, interesting seeing Jordan Grace's transformation over the past couple of years. Because I remember and it's funny because I remember when she first came to Impact, which was soon, like it was in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or late 2018 one.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah, I remember her coming in, and she was already big already. Like, she was already, muscular already. But then it's crazy how much different she looks now. When you look at her. So like it's pretty crazy, especially when you go back and look, because like at that time I was thinking, yeah, this girl is freaking big, and then now it's like, wait, I thought she was big back then. But yeah, I mean this was good, and I think having Taya survive, I think was a good little kind of surprise, because anytime anybody's undefeated, you kind of expect them to win. Like you kind of just, and if they do lose, it's a really big deal. And I don't know if this was necessarily the point for her to lose per se, but it did showcase how good of a champion Taya was. So, what was your thoughts on the Knockouts title match?
I thought this match was pretty good here. I didn't really like the ending, like how, like I wasn't expecting Ty Valkyrie to retain the title. Like how did she win? By the Road to Valhalla. That's how she retained title. But the match was all right. Jordan Gray, she was doing a lot of she was doing really good selling in this match. The match wasn't bad here. I feel like at this point I wasn't really liking Jordan Grace. Like, I don't know, she just kind of felt flat to me. She just kind of felt like really generic. And now I tell you what, look at her in 2021. She's thick with 2 C's, with 3 C's actually. She's thick, man. She really thick. But this was a decent match, and I mean, I was kind of surprised that Jordan Grace lost this because, like you said, she's never. This was like her first time. I thought she should have lost like a bigger pay-per-view, like Slammiversary or like a Bound for Glory pay-per-view or something like that.
Well, I always felt like what was cool about these pay-per-views, because we always talk about like filler pay-per-views and pay-per-views that don't mean much of anything, but like it never felt like the newer ones, like the Hard to Kills, Rebellion, Homecoming. It didn't feel like they were like just filler pay-per-views. It felt like there were important moments in all of them, which I think was good.
I agree.
But I thought you had another point moving forward into the Rich Swann versus Sami Callihan OVE rules match. Maybe I was watching it this time because I remember all of this like I watched it yesterday. Because I remember Rich Swann, like Sami Callihan was trying to get Rich Swann to join OVE, and I remember Rich Swann kicking him in the back of the head. I remember this. And this feud was great. I think they did some really good stuff with this feud. And I think it elevated both guys. It elevated Sami Callihan as the leader of OVE, because once he joined OVE, you were kind of like, okay, let's see what he's going to do. And then when he became like almost like the breakout guy of OVE, I think it was really good for him. And I think that's what pushed him to the world title eventually, was the fact that he was kind of the spearhead. And he was like kind of Mr. Consistent in a way for Impact. But yeah, this match against Rich Swann was good, kind of sickening at times, and with some of the things that they did, and like when like I don't know what it is with Rich Swann and Sami Callihan was spitting, but they freaking love it. I swear Sami Callihan likes to spit on other people. He likes to spit on himself. He likes to spit in the air. And Rich Swann, anytime he gets hit, just spits and slobbers like a baby. And what was funny was when, it wasn't even funny, it was just sickening, was when freaking Sami Callihan spit in Rich Swann's face, and he was like, I was like, oh, well, okay. All right, then. Let's just go with that. So, but I thought that was funny though. I thought it was funny, and it was kind of like, hey. But like, but you don't see stuff like this. Like this feud was very like personal. It felt like, and I think that was kind of one of the things that back then in 2019 that Impact was doing a lot of, was kind of like personal type stuff. Especially, Sami Callihan had zero filter back then. He had no filter back then. He would pile drive people. He would pile drive people's wives. He would spit on people's wives. He would spit in the crowd. He would spit on you. He would pile drive everybody. And that's why I like Sami Callihan so much. Yes, he would spit on.
Sammy likes to spit on his. That's the best way of saying
that man. Like, and that's why I loved him against Tessa too. Like, he was just like, him against Tessa was really good, and him against Cade was really good. Because I remember when he came out there and he pile drove freaking, who was it? Melissa Santos, I think. Did he? Or did Brian Cage break that up? I know he hit one on Katie Forbes. I was dying. I remember him hitting one on Katie Forbes. That was hilarious. Like, Sammy is freaking. He is so fun. Like when Sammy's a heel and like a serious heel, like I love watching Sammy. Like when he won the title, I was so freaking happy, because he was like one of the main reasons I was watching Impact at the time. even though I loved Brian Cage and I loved Johnny Impact and all those guys, but like I don't know, there was something about him. I just really liked the seriousness of it, the thumbs up, thumbs down. Every time he does it, I'm just like, yes, this is my guy right here. And to this day, I love Sammy. That man is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I love this. I thought it was good. It was personal. It was definitely enjoyable. What was your thoughts on the match? And he was definitely better than Solomon Crow.
Man, okay, Adam, get out of here. Just leave right now. Get out of here, Adam. that comment is irrelevant. Who's this Crow guy? Who's Salami Crow? Salami Crow, that's his name. No, this match was amazing. Like Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, every time they get in the ring, they have this great chemistry together. It's just amazing. Like the spots that they were doing this match. I love that pile driver.
What did Sami say? Like Sami said something in that promo, and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Rich Swann, you got a dead father," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Sami, chill out." He was like, "And your mama's in jail." I was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm walking out. I'm out of here. You can't say that, Sami. You can't say these things."
Yeah, I just love how unfiltered he is, and like the lengths he goes, like in all of his views. Like he does not have a filter. Sami Callihan does not have a filter on him, which that's what I love about him. No, but this was an awesome match here. Like both these guys have really good chemistry in the ring together, and I like that pile driver he did on to Rich Swann on the barricade. Like he set up like a barricade, like a table, which that was pretty dope. We saw Legos get involved, which if you ever stepped on a Lego, that hurts. That stuff hurts. We saw Legos get involved. Just like thumbtacks. But I think Legos they're a bit worse in my opinion. But we even saw a pile driver from the top rope. That was nice. We saw a barbed wire bat get pulled out. That was pretty dope. Like Rich Swann used that for the finish. Like used it like in a crossface. That was pretty good. No, but these guys, this was I was just cringing at some of the spots that they were doing in this match. It was awesome. We even saw like this powder. I don't even know what kind of powder it was, like, kind of like chalk or something, get thrown into the face of Callihan. I'm not Callihan, Rich Swann. No, but this match was fun. I really enjoyed it, and they will go on to have some like many more great matches in the future here, which I just love every time they get into the ring with each other. It's probably one of my favorite matches here.
Yeah, it's definitely Justina. Justina. Tessa Blanchard versus Gail Kim. Gail Kim comes out of retirement to face Tessa Blanchard. I remember this too, because I remember they were playing a lot on Tessa being of the Blanchard family and Gail Kim being married to Robert Irvine or whatever. I remember this. What was your thoughts on Tessa Blanchard versus Gail Kim?
This match was really good here. Even though, going back, fast forwarding to now, with Tessa Blanchard, everything she said, she still.
They gave her the world title, darn it.
Yeah, I think it was at Slammiversary they gave her the world title.
They gave her the world title and she wouldn't even show up to work.
Yeah, like at the beginning of, when was it? It was around Slammiversary.
2020, I thought. No, the end of wasn't it?
It was it was in the summer of 2020 because I remember they vacated the title, but they did tapings so far in advance, which I don't know. I just wish
just send a promo video in. That's all they wanted you to do,
right? That's what I was about to say. She should have sent a promo video in, like doing stuff like that. I don't know. I just feel like the way she went out was just very sour. But
it's just weird. It's weird that like, of course, she's one of the best women's wrestlers out there, but she's still unemployed.
Yeah, which is
I feel like there's a reason behind that.
Yeah, and the comments she said, some racist stuff she said,
Yeah.
But she could be working for AEW right now because her father over there is in AEW. I think he's does something with TNT over there. But
isn't he a part of ain't he a part of the Pinnacle?
Not Turner. Fuck what it. Yeah, he's part of the Pinnacle.
Yeah. I could have swore I was like, I know I heard him talking last week. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this was a really good match. I love the dialogue between Gail Kim and Tessa in this match. I like how Tessa, she said something. She goes like, "Your wife looks good now, huh?" Like she said that to Robert Irvine. I thought that was pretty funny. Like this match was like very physical and stuff. I like the figure 4 that Gail Kim did on the ring post. That was pretty cool. But no, this was a very good technical match here. I really enjoyed it. It was a good match.
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, I thought, of course, you put two of the best, one a legend and one attempting to be a future legend if she doesn't screw herself up before she gets to that point. And like at this point, Tessa was, if not the best women's wrestler in Impact. No, she was definitely the best women's wrestler in Impact at this point. Yeah, she was better than Taya because Taya looked sluggish, like I said before. So Tessa just looked so smooth in the ring at this point. And putting her against Gail Kim was like we said, a dream match. And it was kind of one of these things. Once again, we talked about it before with filler pay-per-views. You can't have a filler pay-per-view with Tessa Blanchard versus Gail Kim on it. Just saying. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pull that one off. But I mean, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought they worked well together. I like how it began as like this personal feud, and then it kind of ended as kind of like, okay, I respect you now. I've seen your work up close and personal, and I respect you now, and I like that. Brian Cage versus Johnny Impact for the Impact World title, or Johnny Drip Drip as he likes to call himself. Justin, what was your thoughts on the co-main event?
I thought this match was good. I mean, we saw a lot of shenanigans with Johnny Bravo and Taya Valkyrie getting involved.
Bravo!
Usha Bravo. That segment still gets me. I mean, even though how corny it is, it's still pretty funny. But no, this match was really good here. I mean, of course we had Lance Storm as a special guest referee here, which I wasn't sure why they had him as a special guest referee. I kind of want to go look at some like build up to this show here, but this was a pretty good match. I mean, we had the more the power of Brian Cage here, and more Johnny Impact. He was kind of being that chicken shit heel here, but this was a fun match. I'm happy that I gave the title to Brian Cage, because I thought he was really deserving of it. And especially, I love the ending, which we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll talk about that in a minute here. But no,
does he still do the drill claw? Or does he use the F5 now? Does he still do the drill claw, or does he use the F5 now?
He mostly uses the F5.
The drill claw is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. He should do it.
And we saw a table spot in this match. Johnny went through a table, which was awesome. We even saw some blood in this match, which we don't. And I think it was not Johnny Bravo. Brian Cage, he was just bleeding, like his whole face was all gushed over. We even had a whole bunch of blood on Johnny Impact, and then even Lance Storm, he got involved. Which when there's special guest referee,
wasn't he bleeding too? I could have sworn
there was blood on his shirt. Maybe I think he did get cut open because like he was over there in the corner or something happened. I don't exactly know, but we saw the towel get used in the match, and Johnny was just trying to figure out any way to win. He was trying to win by DQ, but Lance Storm, he goes like, no, this match is not going to end in a disqualification. But no, this was a really fun match.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime I watch Brian Cage, I'm always like, how does he do that at that size? All the time. And it's just crazy because Brian Cage is a freak, and going up against Johnny, who just does ridiculous stuff too, just because of his parkour background and all that. So his ability to just wow you never really ceases to amaze me when he's used in a serious manner. And I like this. I like the character that Johnny was running with at the time. Kind of him and Taya being the hottest couple, and kind of being like the movie star type thing. But I like that, and I thought that was good, especially when you watch the interview backstage. I thought that was definitely good when they did the interview with Melissa Santos, which was ironic and awkward at the same time. I thought that was good. Yeah, Cage is ridiculous, and sometimes I wonder how he's not AEW champion as we speak. But then again, I don't know how you'd ever take the title off a guy that big that can move like that. I don't know. I don't know. Who would you have come in to beat him? I don't know. But nonetheless, I mean, definitely good. A really good match. The Full Metal Mayhem main event for the tag team titles. It was LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. I loved the tag team division at this point because, of course, Santana and Ortiz were amazing and still are. And then, of course, you had the Lucha Brothers who were just as amazing. And I think they played great heels. I know, did they do a double turn in this feud? I can't remember because I remember LAX being heels at some point during Impact. But I don't remember if the Lucha Brothers came in and made them turn or not. I really can't remember. But this was this was crazy. Like there was spots in this match that just like really had your jaw on the floor, and you were like, what? Because I mean, I remember watching this, and I was like, how in the freaking world? Like, why would you do that? There were some crazy spots. I don't know the specifics of all of them right off the top of my head, but I mean, this match was ridiculous, and I think it was a great epic way to end the show. And there were some false finishes in this match that were like, yep, that should have been the finish. And I really felt that way. But you really didn't know which way this was going to go. You didn't know if LAX was going to retain or if the Lucha Brothers were going to, get the title. So, I mean, this match was awesome. Definitely worth the watch. This entire show is worth the watch to me. I think a lot of those pay-per-views in back then were really awesome. Like if you didn't watch Impact in 2019, this is one. I'm trying to think. Was it Hard to Kill? Was a really good one in 2019. And then that episode of Impact where Sami Callihan won the title, that cage match with him and Brian Cage was ridiculous. I don't know how Brian Cage lost the cage match, considering it's in his name. But I mean, it like, bro. Yeah, they were doing some crazy stuff back then, and I mean, they still do. They still do. Of course, with everything going on, it hasn't been as great as it used to be, but they still do some good stuff, and I think deserve some credit. Thoughts on the main event, Justin?
This main event was awesome. Like I've been telling DJ, like, dude, we have to watch this. We have to do a review on this show for the longest time because I'm surprised I never watched this match. And I'm surprised I never watched this whole pay-per-view because I've
watched this pay-per-view before. When I was watching it, I felt like I hadn't, but now that I went back to it, like I remember, especially the main event, because I remember the main event being wild, and I remember that opening match for some reason, and Gail Kim versus Tessa. I remember those three matches for some crazy reason. But.
Yeah, like this main event here was just crazy. Like all the spots, like the double tope con hilo over the top rope, through a table onto the, I think it was onto Santana and Ortiz. That was a pretty dope spot. I also like when they had all these chairs set up, and it was the Lucha Bros. They did like a pile driver through the chairs. Oh my god, that was a crazy spot. The Spanish fly through the table. Was it through the table? Yeah. The Spanish fly off the ladder through a table onto the stage. That was us. I thought that was going to end the match. The power bomb through the table with all those thumbtacks on it. Just an amazing match. Like spots galore, and like the crowd was just into this. And yeah, I see why this was one of the best matches from 2019 because this was like on the level of this was probably like on the level of like a TLC, like those TLC matches back in the day. And probably not as good, but it's close up there. Like this was pretty awesome, and like the feud that these two teams had, like throughout the year was just awesome. It was just a fun match here, and I like the ending.
Was this the time that Hernandez or somebody ran over the kid? Was this the same? I remember there was a feud because I remember Eddie Kingston was involved, but I can't remember I can't remember. I don't remember, but I remember there being something where no, that was when the new LAX was feuding with the old LAX, wasn't it? When the little kid got okay.
No, but this match was amazing. Like if you guys haven't watched that match, go subscribe to Impact Plus. I think it's like $7.99. I think it's like $8 a month or something like that. Go subscribe to Impact Plus. Because I think Impact Plus is like definitely worth it, but I wish they would put on all their pay-per-views, not just like their live specials they do a month. But yeah, that's just me. That's a discussion for another day here. But no, like if you haven't watched the show, go back, go watch that. Like click off this video and then come back to the review, and then you'll probably agree with everything we said on this because boy, this show was pretty good here. This was an awesome show. But what would you rate the show out of 5? Like, and what's your favorite match from the show?
Out of 5, I'd probably rate it I don't know if there's ever a perfect show, so it's kind of hard to say it's a 5. So I guess I would do like 4 or 4.5 because it was good. Like, I mean, I guess I put it at 4 because like Scarlett Bordeaux and Rohit Raju could have been taken out for something better, just for what that match was. But I mean, that was the weak match on the card, and it wasn't even bad. It's just that's just one of those matches that sometimes doesn't really make sense with why you would have it, and how can you defend the Desi Hit Squad after getting beaten by Scarlett Bordeaux who technically hasn't wrestled, like how can you defend that? But yeah, I'd probably say I'd say about a 4. It was solid. My favorite match of the night, I'd probably have to say the main event. The main event was crazy. I think Rich Swann and Sami Callihan was awesome too. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be between those two matches for me. Swann and Callihan are the main event with LAX and the Lucha Brothers. I think it's got to be one of those.
So I'm gonna have to give it probably 4 out of 5. Like I said, DJ, it's hard to like give pay-per-views. Like there's like maybe like there's only one pay-per-view that's probably a 5.
I feel like if there was a perfect pay-per-view right in front of us, we wouldn't know it.
Right. I mean, there's just also so much wrestling on. Like it's crazy, and like everybody has their own different taste. What they think is great and what they think is bad and stuff. What you think is great, I could think is kind of mediocre. And I mean, everybody has their own opinions. But I definitely have to give it a 4 out of 5. Definitely a great show. I definitely agree I think the Scarlett Bordeaux and Rohit Raju match could have been left off here. And like, I think this is the time that they were first starting to do the whole intergender stuff, which, people say what they want to say. Go like, oh, why do they have men and women fight? But at this time, they wanted to start the whole equality movement and stuff, which I thought that would be funny if Rohit Raju, every time he does a hit, he goes like, equality. I thought that would have been.
Well, Impact was one of the first companies to like reintroduce that back in, and do it in a serious manner. Like of course, Scarlett and Rohit was like, ha, funny. But like when they had Jordan Grayson to the what was it, six-pack scramble or whatever for a shot at the X Division Championship, or it might have been for the X Division Championship. I can't remember. I think it was for the X Division Championship.
It was for the X Division title.
Yeah, that match, and then of course they had Tessa and Sammy a little bit later on down the road. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, I watched the match, Ace Austin and Tessa too. So I mean, they were really pushing Tessa at the time. And trying to showcase that she was kind of a strong woman for the whole company. But I mean, I think we're just not used to seeing it. So sometimes there's times when it happens and it's just kind of like, why are they doing that? But then we always want to see something different. We always want to see something new. But then when we get something new, we're like, I don't like it. But it's like, can you fault them for trying the new thing? I don't think so. I don't think you can fault them for putting the title on Tessa. I wish they would have put it on somebody else that wasn't Tessa, with given the way things ended, because that's a pretty big moment and the first one of your company's history for her to just be like, well, I'm not going to show up, and get into other issues as well. So it's like, what do you do? But I don't know. Very, very, very interesting. But I think it's hard too, because once you go into having your women start beating men, then it's like when you put them back against other women who obviously aren't as strong as them initially anyway, then what do you do? Like, it's kind of like the Awesome Kong thing. Like, if they were going to do the whole give a woman the world title thing, I would have thought it would have been Awesome Kong. But once you do that, who's going to beat Awesome Kong and how? And how are they going to beat Awesome Kong? Awesome Kong's out here beating James Storm and all of these guys like James Storm and AJ Styles and stuff like that. Then how in the world are you going to bring Awesome Kong back to the Knockouts division and have her lose? It kind of books you into a corner in a way, because I guess of the typical stereotypes of men and women, which is of course what they're trying to break. But
But yeah, I like how the Impact was making this believable. With the whole intergender wrestling and stuff. They weren't just going like, oh yeah, let's just throw them in a random match. They're making it look believable, like not one person being more dominant. It was pretty, like equality here. They're having equality here, which I really like that.
And I guess it's a lot like having smaller superstars beat bigger superstars. Like, how are you gonna let I don't know. I'm trying to think. How are you going to let an Adam Cole beat a Brian Cage when physically, of course, they don't match up? And at some point, as fans, we got used to seeing the fact that a Brian Cage could come, a Brian Cage could come in, win the title, and then get beat by an Adam Cole or somebody of that stature, or Roderick Strong or somebody like that. So it's kind of similar in that way. Like, when. Like, it's hard. I think it's hard to get used to women going up against men, but it's very similar in a way to having smaller superstars go up against a larger superstar. So,
agreed. But no, But I would say my favorite match on the show was probably the Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, because that, like I said, the few that they had, all the matches that they had were amazing through that year, and like even for last year, for 2020, were good also. So that's gonna be my match of the night. But no, this was an awesome show, and that was your Impact Wrestling Rebellion retro review. And I think we're going to be doing more of these. Starting to do more of these. I think we're going to do the Backlash 2000, because DJ wasn't able to be on the whole live reaction, with us. And also, we got more discussions coming on the way. We're going to be discussing the Stone Cold podcast with Chris Jericho. What else are we going to be discussing? We're going to be doing, me and DJ are going to be doing the Rebellion 2021 predictions, probably a review for the show, like always. What else we got coming up?
I think that was it pretty much in terms of what's going on. Of course, we talked about the releases and some other things on a recent episode. So, that's already up for you to watch and listen to.
And, you can go subscribe to all, everything you can go listen to us on Anchor. You can go listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Ankle Podcast, for the joke, the ankle, Snapple, we're sponsored by Snapple. Come on, Snapple, start sponsoring us right now. Start sponsoring us. No, but, I think we're going to start doing some more of these retro reviews, because, these are pretty funny to go back and watch these shows and kind of look retrospect and look back at it like, oh, that's what they were doing at the time. But no, this was a pretty good show here, and we'll catch you guys in our next video. So peace out.